Imagine a scene. You are standing barefoot in a lush green paddy field in the serene island suburb of Kadamakudi in the heart of Kochi. The air is thick with the earthy scent of wet soil. The water tickles your ankles as it shimmers under the morning sun. In the serene setting, you watch an elderly woman wade through the field, hands submerged, searching for fish. Her movements are careful, deliberate. She bends down, a quick splash, and there it is. A glistening fish wriggles in her hand, a triumphant smile on her face. This is tapu fishing, an art passed down through generations in places like Kadamakudi. But today, this scene is fading, replaced by machines, concrete, and convenience. Tappa, like many traditional crafts, is disappearing, taking with it not just a way of life, but a deep connection with the earth. Welcome to Echoes of the Earth. In today's episode, we wade into the vanishing world of tapu fishing, a craft as delicate as the ecosystems it once nourished. Tapu fishing is not just fishing, it is storytelling, tradition, and survival. In the paddy fields of Kadamakudi, where rice farming and aquaculture coexist, this practice has thrived for centuries. It is simple yet skillful. In tapu fishing, the fisher walks barefoot through the waterlogged fields, their fingers brushing the muddy floor, sensing movement. With a practiced motion, they scoop up fish hiding among the paddy stalks. No nets, no rods, and no bait. Just intuition and experience. Every movement is calculated, every splash is a potential catch. It is not just about the catch though. Tapu fishing represents a philosophy of a coexistence. It is about taking only what you need and respecting the delicate balance of the ecosystem. The monsoons were once a time of celebration. They brought life to the fields, filling them with fish like pearl spot or karimeen, catfish, and tiny prawns. Families would gather to fish together, sharing stories and laughter as they worked. It is as much about the bond between the fisher and the field as it is about the catch. Yet today, this bond is fraying. So, why is tapu fishing vanishing? The answers lie in a series of change. First, there is urbanization. Places like Kadamakudi, which was once dotted with paddy fields, are now edged by highways and buildings. Water bodies are shrinking and the delicate balance required for tappa is disappearing. And then there's the elephant in the room, climate change. Rising sea levels are creeping into Kadamakudi's fields, bringing saline water into freshwater ecosystems. The fish cannot survive, the paddy cannot grow, and the fields now lie barren. An added factor is the rain or lack of it. Farmers tell stories of how the monsoon used to be like clockwork. It would arrive in June and retreat by September. Now they face either devastating floods or droughts that leave the fields cracked and dry. Climate change is not just altering the landscape, it is rewriting traditions. Tapu fishing, so reliant on predictable seasons and delicate ecosystems, is becoming impossible to continue with. Chinnamma and Shanda have been tapu fisherwomen for over 20 years. They have been doing this from the age of 18, right after being married off to Kadamakudi. They talk about how things are declining. With changes in climate, there is practically no fish left to be found. Out of the fishing season, the most they can do their work is barely a month.
I learned Tappu after coming to Kadamakudi, where I was married off to. I used to accompany my mother-in-law. Then later, I had children. I have 4 sons. But even after having kids, I still used to go to fishing because I really liked the craft. But now, we are unable to do it as frequently. The excessive flooding coupled with decline in the fish makes it difficult for us to have any catch.
However, climate is not the only challenge. Human activity is accelerating the loss of tappu fishing. Kadamakudi has become a popular spot for tourists. Glass bottles, plastic waste, and other pollutants are thrown into the fields. These make the water dangerous for fishers who now risk injury when they wade into the mud. Jees, a social worker from Kadamakudi, tells us how the increasing pollution is affecting tappu, which is already on the brink of extinction. The craft, which earlier suffered from natural factors, now has the added risk of physical injury.
ഇവിടെ ഇപ്പോൾ ഒരു ടൂറിസം ഡെവലപ്മെന്റ് ആയിട്ട് വളരുന്നുണ്ട്. ഈ ടൂറിസം വളരുന്നതോടൊപ്പം തന്നെ മാലിന്യങ്ങളുടെ
There is a huge boom of tourism in Kadamakudi right now. While there are advantages, it also causes problems. There is an increase of pollution, especially in water bodies. At times, the visitors bring with them alcohol or glass bottles, which they break and throw into the fields. When fishers wade into the fields, this cut their feet and hands. This has become a huge problem.
നമ്മൾ അതിൽ കയറി ചവിട്ടി നമ്മുടെ കൈകാലുകൾ മുറിഞ്ഞ ഈ കാലാവസ്ഥാ വ്യതിയാനത്തിന്റെ പ്രശ്നം വേറെ. ഇത് കൂടാതെ
Another issue rises from the loss of sustainable chemine or prawn farming. Farming communities, already struggling with rising costs and low yields, now view tappu fishing as a threat to their investments. Fields that once welcomed fishers are now off limits, with disputes breaking out over access. Finally, a generational shift. Younger generations, lured by city jobs and modern lifestyles, no longer see value in the painstaking work of tappu fishing. But what is lost in this shift is not just a skill. It is a philosophy, a way of living with the land rather than against it. Tappu in Kadamakudi is also largely a woman-dominated profession. Tangamma, who is now 74 years old, started with tappu when she was just 7. Taught by her mother, she has spent all her life in the fields and rivers of Kadamakudi.
I have been doing the tappu since a little girl. The rivers and lands of Kadamakudi gave me life. I have been here since I was born, and I was even married here. I used to go with my mother. She taught me everything I know. I would accompany her every day, and she would teach me the ways of the river. But now, I have not gone for anything since the past 3 years. Old age coupled with the climatic issues is the problem. Back in my day, we used to survive on farming and fishing. But now, people including my own children are not interested.
Tangamma's story is just one out of the many lives to whom tappu was not just a source of income but a means of living. People who are lost without the craft that sustained them. So, what can we do? Start by listening to stories like these. Amplify them. Advocate for policies that protect traditional livelihoods and ecosystems. And remember, every small action matters. Whether it is conserving water, supporting sustainable farming, or simply sharing knowledge. The loss of tappu fishing is a wake-up call. Will we act or will we watch the ripples fade into silence? Thank you for joining me on this journey into the waters of Kadamakudi. If this story moved you, share it, talk about it, and remember to stay rooted in the earth's rhythms. This is Neha Rajive signing off from Echoes of the Earth.